What it do? Yo, man, listen. Today, I want to talk about my biggest frustration with tacticus. Let's get right into it. It's this guy. It's Egg More specifically, it's the complete stagnation of the guild raid meta. Personally, just to put it out there, I do really like the mechanical team. I think as far as the three main guild raid meta comps go, the mechanical team is the most engaging team there is. I think it's the most fun to play. I think the skill floor and ceiling are significantly higher than any other comp in the game. I think it is one of the best designed by the community team there is. So I do like it in that sense. What I don't like about it is the continued dominance of the team compared to other teams, and how there has been no new characters since Row released that are relevant in any high-end sense. So, to make my point, I need to chronicle the character release schedule. Luckily for me, there is a very useful resource for that, and that resource is Nandi's YouTube channel. Now, Nandi is a very good content creator. He is always on top of the releases in Tacticus. So if you want to chronicle the game, if you want to be like, hey, when did this thing release? You can always check Nandi's channel. At least that's what I do, where you have a clear timeline of things. So the videos, rather the images of videos you will see on your screen are the character releases. As you know, Tacticus releases at least one new character every single month. That is very consistent. I like it personally. It just shakes the game up. It's pretty cool. So, 8 months ago, Egg released, and with his release, the mechanical team came together. We did have Actus, we did have Gida. However, they did not have the anvil on which they could, crush the bosses. When Row released, we had an alternative to the Ragnar Blackmane multi-hit, team comp combination thingy, and the Neurotrope in the form of the mechanical team. Now, mechanical team was really good against boss adjacents. However, people soon realized that, hey, we can attack a lot of times. If we just put Eldurion here, you can do significantly more damage than everything else in the game. So, we started using Egg and he became the king of meta. Following the release, we got Rask, the World Leader's Terminator. A character that is really not guild raid viable. He is a fun character. He's very much a war character in the sense that you wait out on his active and then you lose it on the, when you're surrounded and you just kill a bunch of things. He's good in legendary release events. He's a pretty cool character. However, to be honest, he is not guild raid viable one bit. Asmodai, I do have to apologize for the misconceptions I have created about this character. He is absolutely usable, he is completely viable, however, he is in no way meta. I wanted him to be meta. My proof of concepts were me showing that Asmodai could compete with some of the highest hitters in the game. However, the fact of the matter is that Asmodai is simply too weak in order to replace some of the more meta buffers for the multi-hit team. Macer, again, is a PvP character, not very much a raid character. Ascor has some raid potential in some edge cases. However, personally, I believe his buff is simply too slow to kick in for him to reasonably do anything in guild raids. Now, the anomaly is Kharn the Betrayer, where he released and he instantly became a mainstay in Ragnar Blackmane comps. Additionally, he kind of shifted how Ragnar comps work in the sense that previously there was a more emphasis on a multi-hitter comp that used Ragnar as the main guy. However, with the release of Kharn the Betrayer, the value of the double house single turn rose incredibly because of the fact that how much damage Kharn the Betrayer could do in that given turn. Of course, sorry, goodness, I'm dying here. Of course, Ragnar is the main guy, but Kharn has a very important spot in the Ragnar team. However, it didn't really push the Ragnar team past anywhere. It was just another character with 12 hits, very good, just not insane. Which is crazy to say, considering how far power creep has come, where a 12-hit character is great, but not the best. Then we got Barkwell, very much a event and PvP character. His active ability being able to be used multiple times per game makes it so he is a valuable character for those missions that require you to use your active ability a lot of times. For example, you can launch a mission with orcs and then just let the grots duplicate and just keep killing them with Barkwell's active ability. Pretty cool. Mateneo was another character not guild rate viable. However, he was extremely good in tournament arena. Infiltrate plus the double howl melee makes him a dangerous threat. Then we got Mephiston. Unfortunately, Mephiston was quite underwhelming compared to Kharn the Betrayer. However, he still has uses with his quickening ability, and people like him, so it's a net win to have him in the game. Then we had a little deviation from the normal character release schedule in the form of Titus, where Space Marine 2 was coming out, and then Snowprint did the promotional event. As you know, Space Marine 2 is one of the best products, or rather, best received products of Games Workshop, so they really wanted to support that. Makes sense, it is what it is. And then we get Lucian, a character that I've personally said is extremely fun, however, not guild rate viable at all. Then we got Zydia. Now, it's a little contentious in the sense that she can give a 20% boost to to everything, very similar to Roswitha. However, Zydia is not limited to demons, which technically puts her in some spot. However, I do think she is pretty cope. I genuinely believe that people say, oh, Zydia is like meta are just completely lost the point. And then we get the Patriarch, Peter, Peter was what I call him, where I was not kind to this character during the release, okay? I don't think he's a good character. The fact that he has 4 movement now is good, however, I don't think he does anything that is in any way relevant to guild rates. Now, why am I making this? Why am I creating a timeline for character releases? It's to put into perspective how long we've been in the Egg Store Row guild rate meta. We've been in this meta for 8 months. And to be honest, I don't think if we're going to get out of this meta anytime soon. I often said in my earlier videos where, oh, there's going to be power creep, or Egg Store Row is not going to be the pinnacle of the damage forever, and then it's going to be like that. But then I look at the release for Ragnar Blackmane, and the time difference between Ragnar and Row was only 3 months. Maybe 4 months. But even if I'm giving the benefit of the doubt, even if I'm saying it's 4 months, we are double that. Now, when I say a new team being like, okay, what I'm trying to say is, I don't want Row to get power crept. I just want something to shake up the guild rate meta. I want the introduction of a new 4th team. It doesn't have to be better than the mechanical team, as long as it holds its own against the Ragnar comps and then the Nero comps, and it promotes interesting gameplay that's different, that's new, that's exciting. Because, let's be honest, Egg Store Row released 8 months ago, and aside from Kharn the Betrayer, none of these characters are truly guild rate viable. And I know, survival is an event that is, just being brought back. I think we just finished the Halloween survival event. That was pretty cool. And Guild War is a thing, so characters being good for Guild War is good, Tournament Arena and whatnot. Of course, I get that. It's just very disheartening to see no relevant change for guild raids. And it's a completely valid argument to say, hey, Draupnir, I think you're being facetious. Kharn the Betrayer released, and he just became a main staple of the Ragnar Blackmane comp, and you're absolutely right about that. I cannot argue against how good Kharn is. However, he's just a multi-hitter in a multi-hit team. It didn't really change anything. It's similar to if you get like Eldurion 2.0, where it's like Aldurion, and it just does a little bit more damage. It's like, okay, I mean, that it's better, it's an improvement for the team, but it's like, this is not a hill I'm willing to die on, okay, let's be honest. Kharn is a good character. However, it's not that big shift in the guild rate meta. And an important note, this is This is something I face, and I am absolutely guilty of this, where I say, oh, this character is useless, this character is worthless. You know, the art team always does a great job with these characters, and the developers, they spend a lot of time, effort, and resources on these characters, and these characters are good, they are interesting, they are engaging to play with, and it's exciting to see that characters we like in Tacticus. When I say a character is like useless, I mean like it's useless to me, to someone who hyper fixates on guild raids, where guild raids are my only focus. Characters in Tacticus have all extremely good flavor in the sense that they represent the tabletop identity and whatnot. I won't deny these facts. However, we've been stuck with Row for 8 months. And, you know, Draupnir, these characters are actually super relevant in these hyper-specific examples that will literally never come up, and if you just come up in some edge cases, any other D3 character. Okay, bro. Okay, you know what? Put the fries in the bag, little bro. Okay? Put the fries in a bag. It's, you know, it's frustrating. I am sick of it. I want a character that impacts the raid meta. Kharn is cool, he is not enough. A fourth team, like the immersion of a fourth team, or a character that changes the current team, that promotes an alternative way to play the raids. Because right now, you know, I understand there will be some visceral reactions where like, oh my god, Draupnir wants to nerf my team. That's not what I want, okay? I want your team to be viable. I want the non-viable characters to also be viable. It's just really frustrating as someone who focuses on guild raids to look at these releases and be like, okay, I'm just stuck with extra row for God knows how long. What's gonna happen? I know that's my biggest frustration with the game. I love Tacticus. That's why I make videos about it. I think Snowprint are like one of the best mobile game developers out there. You know, I would go as far as to put Snowprint on the level of Ironhide Game Studios, like early Ironhide, like Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, 3. Like they're that good, I would say. And you know, I really appreciate all they do. I just wish we got a shakeup in the guild raid meta, and not a shakeup in the form of like some arbitrary buff that makes the Ragnar team better or the newer team better, like a genuine shakeup, like a new character that's like, hey, look at those bad characters, they're meta now, like something like that. And the fact that we haven't had that, the fact that we haven't had a character that shakes the game up, at least in the guild raid sense, it's really frustrating to me. You know, because I want to make content. I think it's not my best received content. It doesn't get a lot of views. However, the content I like making the most is the guild raid content where it's like, oh guys, I'm gonna do this character, this new secret tech where, oh, what if, how does this work? Like the fact that I can try these out and share it with people, and then I'm like looking at all, because I do read the comments, all of the videos. Or like I'm reading the comments and then someone's like, hey Draupnir, did you try that? And I'm like, oh my god, you're right. And then I do the video, and you know, I haven't had that in 8 months, and it's really frustrating. I'm just upset. I desperately wish for a new guild raid character that actually shakes the game. Thank you very much for watching the video. Refer friend code is in the middle of the screen. If you want to enter it, you do get 100 Blackstone shards. Have a great day, and stay safe.